quiet house. This house is surrounded by trees with a workshop that is completely abandoned that is north of Georgia. How do I know? Because within that house relies with a 16-year-old man with a dream. Not only he's been living with his dream, he also been living a life that people didn't know about until today. And by the way, this is not an ordinary 16-year-old guy with a dream. Not only he has a dream, he has a big family. 3 brothers, 3 sisters, and 3 grandparents. That's crazy, huh? And that guy who has a dream and a big family was me. When I started my YouTube channel on December 29, 2014, I thought I wasn't going to be successful. And that's when I said it to my parents when I was like 7 or 8. In 2016, I uploaded my first YouTube video. But the truth is, pro-life wasn't actually the very first YouTube video. And as a matter of fact, I can't remember what was my first YouTube video. But I did post iMovie trailers when I was a kid. I had my own iPad. I started recording video shots where I can just like post it on YouTube. But unfortunately, I barely had any success, so I deleted all my YouTube videos except pro-life. Between 2021 through 2024, I had a lot of success. Here's what I mean. In 2021, I only posted fire alarm videos and the Dude Perfect Tour videos. In 2022, I started making vlog videos. In 2023, I started uploading short films. Well, I only uploaded 2 short films. And then in 2024, I started posting videos and live streams at the same time, which got me all the way up to my dream, which is reaching 1,000 subscribers. But there was something about myself that I should have told you since 2022. And today, I will be giving you 5 chapters throughout this whole documentary. And it starts what I'm about to tell you. From the past 16 years, I've been living my life with autism. It is to switch the knob, and boom, the train starts running like a fast runaway Chapter 1. People who would describe me. In this chapter, I am going to be showing you a couple of video clips that I asked my family, my friends, and my supporters how would they describe me as a friend, a brother, and a son, and a student with autism. Here it is.
Carter's very nice to others. He's energetic. He's happy. He always has a big smile on his face. And I just think that's what a good friend should have. And he's just very kind and considerate and curious. And I just think that's awesome. So that's some ways to describe Carter.
Hello, my name is Ben Graham, and I'm here to tell you what I just described Carter as a friend. He's very funny, he cracks lots of good jokes, he's very friendly, he's outgoing, he's an all-around great guy. He's just a guy that you can easily hang out with, and he never gets boring. I feel Carter is a great friend, and I really respect him for that. Thank you.
Yo, what's up guys? I am Carter Koning's friend, John D. Pro here, aka John David, and I just wanted to let you know that I've met Carter since I was in 6th grade, and he, since then, has been such an amazing guy trying to pursue his dream of become an amazing YouTuber. And he texted me one time that his dreams came true, and I told him so had mine. His dream was to become a famous YouTuber. My biggest dream was to just be the best person I can be as long as I have God by my side. And not only have I done just that, but it is not over and it's never over because I am with God throughout the rest of my life, whether it's here on earth or eternal life in heaven, or should I say heavearth. Both heaven and earth, you know what I mean. I just want to say, go support Carter Koning. He is such an amazing YouTuber and such an amazing friend. Carter Koning, you're such an amazing guy, and never let your autism get in the way of doing great things in life. I've also suffered through autism I think I was diagnosed when I was 4 years old, but hadn't stopped me from doing great things either. And it's also taught me that not only when I do these great things, that if something happens to them, then I'll at least remember that for the rest of my life. Not only does it show that, but it also shows me that I can go forward and I can try to make even more great things, if not better. So I'm just really happy. Carter Koning, I love you, man. You're one of the bestest friends I've ever had. So I appreciate you. Deuces.
Hey Carter, so how would I describe you as a friend? Well, to be honest, I describe you as somebody with a dream. You want to have so many subscribers, that you're doing so well on your YouTube channel that, I mean, to be honest, I didn't really know you were autistic. And I mean, I am autistic too, but I describe you as somebody with a heart, somebody who follows Jesus, somebody who understands what's going on in life, and you just never give up. You just know everything. You do a good job. And without you, I mean, you wouldn't have friends. But I'm glad I had you as a friend. You were someone special to me. You always had a heart. You were always there for your friends. I mean, I forgot the, Nick and, what was that? John David. Yeah, sorry, that took me a while to remember. But like I said, you're a real good friend. Somebody who would always look after anyone. And I promise you, Carter, you will do awesome in life.
I think Carter Koning is pretty cool. You know, I do enjoy talking to him, so he's a pretty cool friend.
Hi, I'm Landon, and today I'm going to be talking about Carter Koning, one of my good friends of mine. He is a pretty good friend of mine, actually. I've been friends with him, I think, for over a year, and he seems like he's a pretty cool person. He's actually into most of the same hobbies that I'm into. He has some fire alarm sex signs. He likes the fire alarm that I actually really like, and I'm just describing how decently cool of a person that he actually is, and he deserves for hitting 1K. He is a really decent person. He's very nice, and he's the type of person that you would honestly like to hang around with. So I like Carter a lot. He's pretty cool.
I've known Carter for about 8 years now, and I would say that Carter is a very well-spoken, hard worker, and a very just loving, helpful guy. He just loves to help everyone and is willing to do whatever for anyone.
Hi, my name is Kevin Vortelander, and I wanted to take a minute to share my thoughts on Carter Koning and my experience being his assistant video coordinator for Mill Creek Lacrosse. I had the opportunity to work with Carter last fall filming the Mill Creek varsity and junior varsity games last year for the coaching staff, and it was my great fortune to be able to assist him while he filmed every game. Carter performed the job with great enthusiasm and passion. He worked through the occasional equipment malfunctions and interruptions with a smile on his face and a great demeanor. Carter was always attentive to the game and put a constant smile on everyone's face, and it was truly a gift for me to be able to work with him. Thank you, Carter.
So having Carter Koning in my class has been nothing but a true pleasure. Carter brings the energy, the excitement, and the engagement to my class. From day one, he has come in just super excited about learning about video and making videos, and that's exactly who I love to have in my class, are people that are ready to get up, get moving, and have a lot of fun. And so Carter has just been a huge blessing in my life. He comes in every single day in the morning and helps me with the morning announcements. And so he's made my life just better overall, having him come in each and every day, ready to get going, to have a lot of fun. So thank you very much, Carter.
I was asked to make a video about my younger brother who has autism. His name is Carter Koning. He's the youngest of four of us. And I don't know what I can say other than, like, he's a really bright, smart kid. He's working towards this YouTube channel that he's been doing since he's, little kid. He's driven, he's focused, and I'd say maybe because of the autism, he's that driven, he's that focused, he's committed at such a young age. All I wanted to do was hang out with my friends. And he's been slowly working towards this channel and building followers and learning new things on video editing, and it's pretty impressive at such a young age. I don't think a lot of people in his age, or even after high school, have a clear idea as to what they want to do. I certainly didn't. He's a very nice kid, super grounded, down to earth, very honest. He sees the world black and white, and he tells you exactly how he feels. He'll always give you an honest answer, and you can't help but like the kid. He's a very genuine person, and that's not often the case with anyone anymore. He has a unique perspective on life and how he sees things and how he views things, and it's always nice to just hear his perspective on things, and you kind of see a different angle on life and personalities and just people and how he views them. He definitely sees things through a different filter, but I think it's always worked to his advantage. He's come a long way, and I'm sure, just like the rest of my family, we're excited to see him grow as a person and what he accomplishes. He's a great young man, and I wish the best for him.
I was asked to make a video on what it's like to have a brother who is autistic. I first want to say that Carter is the most amazing young man I've ever met. Having a brother with autism isn't a whole lot different than having just a regular little brother. Carter just learns different. He handles things differently. His emotions are a little bit different, and that's okay. And that's one of the best lessons you can take away from Carter, is that he looks normal. He is normal. He's not abnormal. He just learns differently. He handles situations a little bit differently. And he's really good at certain things. He has found his niche, his calling, if you will. that is another thing that he has taught me, is determination and patience and unconditional love. When you put a label on autism, it automatically looks crazy. It automatically looks like there's something wrong, and there's nothing wrong. Carter is his own. He is his own person. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Carter's determination and his love for the digital arts, whether it be content making on TikTok or video creation or short film ideas, his love for Disney, all of that is inspiring. He found something that he really enjoys to do, and he's sticking with it, and he's working at it and working at it and working at it. And I foresee him making a big career in that. Him being my brother is he's just my brother. He's not my autistic brother. He's just my brother. I love him dearly, and I wouldn't change a thing about him just because of all the lessons that have been taught. Learning that everybody works differently. Everybody handles things differently. Everybody learns differently. Everybody has a different way of coping with different things. So having a brother with autism has honestly made me a better person. And like I said, I wouldn't change a thing. So, and don't tell anybody, but he's my favorite.
Hi, my name is Candace, and I am Carter Koning's sister. Having Carter as a brother with autism has been definitely an adventure. When he was little, he was very quiet until he wasn't quiet. He was always very sweet, but it was very specific. And as we got older together, he obviously grew into himself, but there were things that we had just never experienced with him before. And he was always such a bright little boy, and everybody loved being around him, even if he didn't speak very much. As he's gotten older, he is definitely far more active and speaks obviously a lot. But again, his determination for things is unfathomable. When he has his mind set on something, he will not stop. And his fixation is incredibly admirable. He inspires me a lot of the time, and I wish I had that kind of compulsive nature and obsession to enjoy what I love so much. And it's very admirable how he has brain works. He just is he compacts everything in certain boxes, and he makes sure that these all tick in a certain order. And it's very different, but it's very intriguing and very refreshing, because there is a very firm line. There's always a very firm line where he goes, and what he knows is right and knows is wrong, and he wouldn't ever put one in sub of the other. It's just not his nature. So knowing that about him, and the creative aspect that he's brought into the house, and how much he enjoys getting lost almost into the art that he is into, for lack of a better term, it's just fascinating. He's a very bright person, and he's very bright to be around. And there's always room for a new thought and a new angle in every aspect of life, and that's exactly what Carter is. He is always somebody that looks at things slightly different and then makes you see the focus. And who wouldn't ask for a better person than that in your life? Love you, Carter.
Hi, I'm Haven. I'm Carter's older sister, and I've been asked to describe what it was like growing up with Carter. When we were little, Carter was so sweet and loving and happy and just the coolest, greatest kid ever. I was also very young at the time, so I didn't really notice anything atypical about Carter, but I do remember the day learning that he was autistic, and it being very scary for my family because we didn't know what was next. We didn't know what was going to happen, if he was ever going to talk. And obviously he did end up talking, but it was scary. And, you know, I had never met anybody with autism, so it was very much learn as you go. Yeah, and so as we started getting older, I did start to notice, you know, what made Carter Carter. He's very particular about certain things. He likes to stick to his schedule. Change is sometimes scary or frustrating. And yeah, we really just had to roll with the punches. So for example, Carter has a texture sensitivity issue. So we used to have to change from bigger noodles in our pasta to smaller noodles so that he was able to handle it better. And I remember my brother and I were very upset by this at first, but it ended up working out. So, but that's one of the things, you know, you just kind of figure it out as you go. And I also remember Carter explaining to me about all the fire alarms and exit signs, and me being like, that's not the usual thing people are interested in, but Carter loved it, and he could tell me how to wire them, how they worked, which models are the best. And it's just stuff like that yeah, is atypical, but it's what makes him special. And even today, like now he's still into that, but more into YouTube and everything. And something about Carter is that if it's possible and he wants it, he's going to make it happen. He's very persistent and a very big dreamer, go-getter. And it has been one of the most impressive things to see. Even today, we're still, you know, navigating how to go about this as he grows up. But having Carter as a little brother was amazing. And it was just one of the most important life lessons I've ever had. I've learned to be more patient because of Carter. I've learned to be more accepting of people because of Carter. You know, I've learned that autistic people are capable of everything, if not more, than a regular person, because they will focus on something and get it done. And it has been just the most amazing thing to learn. And so I would say Carter has taught me a lot about life, and just, you know, be accepting of people, be loving of people, be nice to everybody. You never know. You can't always see that somebody has more of a difficulty getting through their day. And so I would say that I've been very grateful for Carter and just everything that he's taught me, and I am so excited to see everything that he is going to do. So yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Seamus. I'm Carter's older brother. I've been asked to make a video of what it was like growing up with Carter, and specifically what it was like growing up with him and his experience with being autistic and having autism. The first thing that I'll say is growing up with Carter was an absolute blast. You know, we had a lot of fun, and it was a very unique, I'd say, growing up process for not just him, but for the rest of us as well. But it was challenging as well, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that there were certain things that, you know, we had to cater to. And I remember that when Carter was diagnosed with autism, he was very young, and I was very young as well. And when we were told that he had autism, we didn't really know what that meant. I feel like as time goes on, you know, science and people, there's just more information that comes out about things like this. And back then, I feel like there just wasn't as much information about autism and what it meant. And so I didn't really know what it meant. And I feel like it wasn't as widely talked about as it is now with social media and people kind of coming out to share their own experiences. I feel like it was a bit more of a sensitive subject for whatever reason back then. But I do remember that when we were told that he was autistic, that we were a little bit scared, but we really just knew that things were going to be different from now on. You know, we had to be a bit more particular with things that we did and that we ate, and we had to be a bit more attentive and patient to Carter's needs and Carter's growth as a person. You know, I do remember that him having to go to special like therapy classes and speech therapy classes. We'd have someone come over and kind of teach him speech because he wasn't able to just talk yet as fast as, you know, other kids around that age would be able to kind of pick things up. It was just a slower progression of things. I do know that as Carter was little and as he's grown up, that we just had to be, you know, more welcoming to his particular needs and wants, because Carter grew up being very particular about things. And I mean, everything from, you know, movies and places that we would go or go visit, and things that we would eat. You know, Carter liked to stick to a routine. We liked to go to places that we knew, you know, places that, you know, didn't have like loud noises or, you know, scary lights. And we like to watch movies that we've seen over and over and over again. And if we would go out, we would have to go somewhere where Carter would basically, there would be something on the menu for him to eat that he knew and that he liked. And so those were a bit of the challenges that we had to face. Yeah, we had to go to places that would kind of cater to Carter's, you know, comfort level, if that makes sense. So, for instance, when we would go out to eat, if we ever went to a Mexican restaurant or that kind of cuisine, we would have to make sure that they had chicken nuggets and french fries on the menu so that Carter would have something to eat there, right? We were never really going to like Chinese restaurants or, you know, something out of the ordinary that didn't have either pizza or chicken nuggets or something like that. So as far as like challenges, I would say that it was stuff like that, you know. We would, like I said, we watched the same movies, we would go to the same places. We went to Disney World every year, and so we would kind of stick to a routine. And especially Carter, because Carter needed to stick to a routine because that's what he felt comfortable doing. But it was cool because, you know, as Carter was sticking to a routine, I was as well. And I got used to kind of doing the same things and eating the same things and watching the same shows and kind of things like that. So I was comfortable kind of doing that stuff too. So meanwhile, it was challenging and you do want variety sometimes. I kind of got used to it too. So it was kind of cool to kind of be a part of that, because I kind of enjoyed it as well, and I got used to those kind of routines. You know, another thing about, you know, his diagnosis and him just being Carter is that one thing that has also very impressed me with growing up with him is that, you know, Carter would be, with him being particular, you know, he had certain fixations on things, certain things that bothered him, right? For instance, I remember him going to school and him being deathly afraid of the fire alarm, right? Didn't like the noise, and would just kind of scare him to death. He was very nervous about it when he would go to school. And I also remember him, when we would go to places like Disney World, he'd be afraid of certain rides. Like, if anyone knows the Tower of Terror, as it's an up and down, drops you, you get airborne for a couple seconds sometimes. It's a scary ride to normal people. However, for Carter, I think we tried to get him to go on it a bunch of times and he wouldn't go. One time that he did go on it and then was deathly afraid of it, like right after that. But with these kind of things, he would be scared of these experiences or have sensory issues, even with, this is gonna sound crazy, but the THX logo, the ones that comes on before movies and makes the really loud sound, that bothered him as well, because that's a sensory thing too, a loud noise. But with these things, he would almost study them and like learn everything about his fear of whatever it is that it was bothering, whether it was a fire alarm or the Tower of Terror ride, or what was it, the THX logo. He would learn everything about it. So now he's able to take apart and put back together and assemble all these different fire alarms and exit signs, and he knows how the Tower of Terror works, who built it, how old it is, the whole backstory for the whole ride. He'd draw all these little THX, logos and stuff like that, and it was just like very interesting to see that, most people, when something bothers them, and even if they're afraid of it, they would avoid it at all costs. But Carter would just like learn about what was bothering him, what was scaring him, and then once he knew everything about it, it was in his arsenal. Like it almost became part of him. And then his fears almost have become his favorite things, if that makes sense, which is like crazy to think about, because he has had these obsessions about fire alarms. I think he posts a bunch of stuff in his YouTube videos, and his favorite ride, I think, is the Tower of Terror now. And like I said, he had all these drawings and sculptures of a THX logo that used to just terrify him. So it's been kind of cool to see how someone is able to, I don't know, go against the norm of stuff that worries them or scares them, and goes about it in a different way. So I think that, I could talk about this for hours, but I think that I will just keep it right there, because that in itself amazes me, and I think it's really cool to see, because you don't see that a lot in most people. And I would just say that that's just one thing that, with Carter's, with him being autistic, he is able to kind of maneuver around and deal with it differently than other people would. So yeah, there you go.
Hi, I'm Casey. I'm Carter's brother. You wanted me to describe him as a brother, so this is my video. Carter's by far the coolest sibling I have. Sorry, David, but I've never seen anyone work harder than him and reach the goal he's always wanted, which is have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I see the hard work he puts in. I'm super proud of him. I've literally raved to my friends about him reaching 1,000 subscribers. I think that's just the coolest thing of all time. Me and Carter don't always see eye to eye. We argue a lot, but we both know at the end of the day that we love each other. And I never seen anyone cry as hard as he did when I left. I definitely think about him every night, just how proud I am of him, and I love him so much. So yeah.
Hi, my name is Danny. I'm the nephew of Carter Koning. And to describe him as my uncle, he's a very energetic and very loving person. He always wants to be active and do something with everybody when, you know, the whole family's around. A very, very sweet kid. He doesn't like to hurt people, and, you know, somebody, you know, like that you don't see very much in this world. I love Carter to death. He's one of my favorites. Don't tell anybody else. But I love him, and you know, we always get to play video games together. He's always has really cool, interesting topics that he likes, which I've always been intrigued about, and I love when he tells me about it. You know, he's an amazing kid. You know, there's been times, you know, he has some struggles too. Everybody does, but you know, all in all, he's an amazing person, and you know, he's always a very positive light to others, and you know, he works hard, and you know, he chases his dreams, and again, not a lot of people do that, so I'm very proud of him. And that's how I would describe him, as, you know, a very hardworking, loving kid that has, you know, a lot for his future. And, you know, he's going to continue to work as hard as he can to get to where he needs to be. But that's how I would describe Carter.
Hi, my name's Elisa, and I'm Carter Koning's mother. Carter is my autistic son. First, he is the youngest of 7 children, and as the last of 7 children when he was born, I was very happy that he was quiet. We soon realized that that wasn't quite the case. He wasn't just a quiet kid. So through a series of testing and services starting at 18 months, going into school at 3, and going through many ups and downs, we have discovered that we have an amazing child. It took a minute because we were very worried. What would life hold for him? How would his future be? What could he do? What could he not do? Well, what we've realized is he can do anything. He's an amazing person. He has hopes and dreams and goals, aspirations, just like everybody else. He just processes the information different. He looks at people differently. He understands things differently. He communicates differently. And autism, in many ways, is his superpower. He's found a way to find his answers, almost all by himself. If he needs something, if he needs to figure something out, he figures it out. He is the most driven, hardworking person I've ever met. When he talks, sometimes I think, this kid is living in a dream world. And somehow, some way, he finds a way. He figures it out. And he is autistic. It is utterly amazing. I feel like the luckiest mom in the world. And I wish that I would have had the opportunity to know all that I could know as a mother with all of my children that I have learned with Carter. He's taught me to be patient. He's taught me to be understanding. He's taught me to stop and take a minute and think. I'm very lucky.
Hi, my name's Brian. I'm Carter's dad. Carter is an amazing person. He impresses me every day with the things that he does. I think about where he was when he was little to where he is today, and it's honestly, it's an unbelievable transformation. I mean, when he was little, when we first found out he's autistic, we weren't even sure if he was ever going to talk. And, you know, now he puts out YouTube videos, you know, he's putting out content. So I just think about the journey that he's been on and that we've been on together, frankly. And it's impressive. I mean, he's changed the way I think about things. He's made me, I hope, a better person. I know that, you know, I have a lot more patience when, you know, maybe I didn't before, and I'm sure that, you know, my family would tell me that I probably need to have more patience, but you know, he looks at things in a different way, and you have to figure out at times how to communicate differently with him, because he doesn't think, his brain doesn't work like my brain works, and which is amazing, because then it gives us, you know, the ability to work on communicating with each other so that we can come together on things. And sometimes that's hard. He can be stubborn, but he obviously gets that from his mom, because I am not stubborn. But that's a great quality to have too, because he fights for what he believes in and what he wants. And, you know, I just couldn't be more proud of the kid for everything he's doing, and, you know, what he gets involved in with school, and he's, you know, he does the morning announcements, and he just enjoys being around people. The funny thing about Carter is, like I mentioned, he loves his family, and then when the family comes, he spends all of his time trying to get away from the family, because he wants some peace and quiet to himself, which I can respect. So, you know, he's just an amazing person. He fills my heart with joy. He makes me laugh. I can't say enough about the kid. I love him so much, and I can't just wait to see what he does in the future. So, great job, buddy. Love you.
Hello, this is Bart and Darlene Beck. We are Carter Koning's grandparents. I remember when Carter was first born, he seemed like a normal child. We didn't get to see him much as a baby, because they moved to Atlanta, Georgia. But when we did see him, we really didn't see no problem with him. But then we were told by Elisa that he did have a little problem, and they were going to take care of it. We found out that he was autistic a little bit, and we looked at the situation, and, you know, we found out that they don't like to be touched and don't like noise and stuff like that. But Carter, through work with his mother, did come around and hug us and talk to us all the time. He did not like a lot of loud noise, but he was a great kid. He was really a wonderful child. When he got a little older, he was able to take electronic devices and that his family would get for him, and he would put them together. And it was amazing, all the stuff that he did. And this little boy would sit there by the hours working on this. He has a real attitude for work. He will do it right. So when he got into high school, and he took he took a class, I guess, for having a internet thing. That's the way I understand it. But anyway, he did very, very well in it. He's in Facebook. He's in what's that?
TikTok.
It might be TikTok. I don't know. But anyway, he's got his own podcast, and now he's actually making money for it. I understand that at school he helps do the introductions in the morning and stuff like that. He also was doing filming for the sports. So this young man is very, very talented. He really looks and acts like a normal child to me. We love him a lot. I mean, the kid is so impressive. You know, he always makes stuff for his podcast, and he loves to show it. He has his own little where he makes plays and stuff like that. I don't know if that's what you call them, but God, it's just tremendous. Anyway, we want to just say that we are very impressed with Carter. We think he's an outstanding young man, and I think whenever he gets out of high school and goes to his profession, what he's going to be, he's going to just tear him up. He's really going to do a great job. So, you want to say something? So anyway, we just want to tell Carter we love him, we're very proud of him, and anything we can do for you, you know we'll help you. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
So that's why I believe that autism is not a bad thing. I mean, and I know that people may think it's a bad thing, but the truth is, it's actually really a good thing. If you still don't believe me, well, I have a video clip from Tom Kenny that someone asked a question that SpongeBob is autistic, and this is what happened.
Really identified with SpongeBob, and because SpongeBob's kind of on the spectrum too as a character. And this last con that I did in South Texas, in McAllen, Texas, it was the first time I'd ever been asked this question. A person who was, you know, obviously on the spectrum came up to me and said, "Hey, I have a question for you, Tom Kenny. Is SpongeBob autistic?" Wow. Is SpongeBob himself autistic? Right. And I said, yes, of course. I said, of course he is. And I said, you know what? That's his superpower. The same way it's your superpower. Absolutely. You know, the same way it's Jenna's superpower.
So that's what would show you that autism is never even a bad thing. I mean, we all have personal opinions. If people tell me that I'm autistic and that it's a bad thing, I don't care. We all have personal opinions, and sometimes they're crap. Chapter 2. My dreams and imaginations.
To dream the impossible dream.
In 2021, I had a dream that I would be in a Dude Perfect video. And Brady also had the same dream like I did. I really do believe I have a dream. I believe in so much that I would be in a Dude Perfect video. It just got me into it. In 2022, I thought I was going to be in a Nickelodeon show or like a Disney show. But being in the Pixar movie, it just got me so much inspiration of it. I just I can't stop thinking about it. I really wish I was in a Pixar movie. But the problem is when it comes to being in the film industry, when you just have to have like a bunch of money, you have to have hire a bunch of actors, and you got to get approved by a movie company that you've always wanted to work with, and that's just very difficult to encounter that step. But I gotta keep trying. I really wish I had a Pixar movie. If you don't know what the Pixar movie I had a dream about, I'll tell you. The plot of my dream Pixar movie is about me who is having a normal life, who has 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That one day he was trying to find a purpose of finding friendship, but then everything changes when he opened his closet door, and the light comes out of it, revealing a teleportation or like a portal to another dimension. And that's what changes everything. And now his mission is to encounter the multiversal war along with the Pixar pals. And the Pixar title I came up with is Carter, Koning, and the Luxo Multiverse. Should I believe in my mind? Of course. I'm like Steven Spielberg or Christopher Nolan. who's out like the purpose of themselves is like having a good story beyond their imagination, which kind of made me feel like I feel happy and sometimes a little sad, which kind of leads me to my next chapter of this video. Chapter 3, My Feelings. On April 20th, 2024, I got back from North Carolina for my brother's lacrosse tournament. But I felt very delusional to myself. I felt a little bit sadness in my heart. So I wrote a letter to myself, and I feel like I'm gonna read it, and I feel like I should read it to explain what this letter was about. Every day, I wake up to see something exciting, but then I realize life is gray and hopeless. Every day, my mind pops out an imagination thought, and I always wanted to see it in real life, but it never happens, and I embarrass myself thousands of times in front of people, and it affects my schoolwork and puts me in a lot of stress. My life has changed since COVID was a thing, and up to this point, I really thought my dreams and imaginations would literally come to life. But instead, I'm having to deal with these worthless things that have nothing to do with what I want to do right now. If I was a part of a Disney or Pixar story, my life would be better. But right now, I'm going through this mental health issue where I'm having lost thoughts in my mind. If there was a wishing star in the sky, I would wish to be part of the Pixar universe, if God would give me a chance. I still believe him because why not? What I'm trying to say is I wish my imaginations would come true if there was someone out there who can help me, if they were trustable. I also like to add one more thing. Anytime when I hook up with a friend, they're always busy, which makes me feel like I'm being pulled into the void of nothingness. So that all being said, my life is blue and gray. Ever since I wrote that letter, people have been messaging me, calling me, and asking me, "Are you okay?" Because I kind of freaked everybody out when I wrote that letter, which I felt kind of a little bit guilty for like freaking everybody out, because nobody should be freaked out. I was just want to like share my feelings to everybody that I can trust mostly. But I got through it for a little while. But then on June 9th, I wrote another letter that kind of tells me that I feel a little bit jealous. And here's what the second letter was like. I feel like every day my mind has been confused when I watch Pixar movies. Here's what I mean. When I watch a Pixar movie, I pause the movie and visualize my own Pixar character in my mind. What would happen if I was in a character's story? I may never know what happened, but I hope nothing bad happens to me if I was a part of their story. Like I said from the previous letter where I talked about my life being blue and gray, I said if I was a part of a Pixar story, my life would be better. I feel much better after having to share that information to everyone that I can trust. I also like to thank everybody for texting me, calling me, and posting comments about being apologetic about how I feel. But what I'm trying to say is I have got to get myself into a Pixar movie or make my own Pixar movie and put myself into it. My biggest concern is that Disney or Pixar may not accept my request, which is going to be challenging for me because the purpose of making your own movie is all about money. And another thing, I could try to help them save a lot of money if Pixar could give me a chance. I can't give up my own dream because I still have to have confidence in order to get a movie. Even though that's not how it works, I need help. If you know anything about jobs for Pixar or Disney, please let me know. Ever since I wrote that second letter, I started to like get over with it. But then the whole jealousy thing has gotten into my mind. So then I posted a couple pictures of my room with what it looks like to like have like spray paint on the wall that tells me like jealous. Like, why am I jealous? And then my brother chimes in and be like, dude, nobody's gonna care if you're gonna continue to post these videos or post these pictures like this. But then my mom chimes in and be like, Carter, everything's gonna be okay. And I said, and I even shared the information to what my brother told me about this, and she told me that it's not 100% true. And what else? And something else you even told me that if you continue to like have your dreams let free, you can have like a best Pixar story like Christopher Nolan and Steven Spielberg, which that kind of got me thinking. If I can write a script as a 16-year-old, then I have to like start act now, because right now I'm going through this comfort zone mode in my brain, where I feel like I'm being like attracted to my phone instead of having to like do something else, like play video games, hanging out with your family, watching movies. But I'm stuck into this comfort zone where I'm like being attracted to my phone and being in my room, being isolated, which I kind of feel sad about, of what I've turned myself against, because I'm not like the guy that used to be from a long time ago. But the way I feel right now is a little bit of delusional. Chapter 4. More about me than being autistic. I really want to talk about the hobbies I've got myself into when I started this YouTube channel. I'm going to talk about fire alarms. The reason why I have a fire alarm collection is because when I was a kid in elementary school, they had loud fire drills that I can't even take anymore. When I heard like there's a fire alarm going off at elementary, I get so scared that I start to cry, and I just can't control that feeling to myself. And sometimes the teachers are like, you're gonna be okay, and sometimes they just feel they feel a little bit worried about me because I'm just like so scared that I just like don't think I could take it anymore. But when I started watching fire alarm videos on YouTube, I noticed that they had not only they had fire alarms at school. I have seen other people had fire alarms in their house, which got me thinking, like, hey, I gotta try that. Like, what if I want to do? Like, how can I do the same thing like they did at their homes? So that's how I got into the fire alarm community. Not only I got into the fire alarm community, I also became obsessed with Lionel trains. The Polar Express was to begin with. I really loved that movie, and then I also didn't know that they had like a Polar Express toy as a G gauge model. So I had a G gauge model. Not only they had a G gauge model, they had O gauge, S gauge, and HO scale. And I started like collecting like Lionel trains. Like the Lionel trains right now, it's like the Walt Disney World 50th anniversary and the Polar Express O gauge model train. I just became obsessed whenever I see things on YouTube. I also got obsessed with DVDs back then. I mean, people don't use DVDs, but ever since I got the Dude Perfect Trick Shots Untold Stories DVD, I have realized that I gotta try something. Like, what if I want to put my videos onto a DVD? And that's what I did. I put some videos on DVD, and it actually works. I mean, maybe if you really think about it, like, people don't go back to the old times. I mean, the DVDs were like in the past. Now in the present, we have streaming services, and I don't know what it's like, what it's gonna be like in the future, which kind of freaks me out a little bit, you know. But all in all, I felt really obsessive because I became obsessed with editing. I became obsessed with firearms. I became obsessed with Lionel trains. I became obsessed with DVDs. I also became obsessed with elevators. I also became obsessed with what kids do and back then. And I wish I can go back to my childhood days to like relive my past. And I just wish I was a kid again.
Chapter 5. The conclusion.
So, what did we learn? Did we learn that I was autistic all along? Ever since I started my YouTube channel? Well, not only that. There was a couple things that you probably didn't know about me, like how I like my hobbies, my dreams, my imaginations, my feelings. They're just like a bunch of things that I can't get it out of my mind. I mean, going through all of this makes me feel like who I am, like living out my own dream, and just be one of the greatest kid that I hope everybody would see me. But sometimes people can give me crap, which kind of makes me feel sad, because I tried so hard to be who I am. But I hope I can make it worth it someday.
Hold your head up high, hold your head up high. Hope is just around the corner. Hold your head up high, see it in your eyes. You were born to fly. Hope is just around the corner. Hold your head up high. 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 Hope is just around the corner. Hold your head up high. See it in your eyes. You were born to fly. Hope is just around the corner. Hold your head up high. Hold your head